Are you interested in adding more hours into your day? Implement these time management strategies and you will see the difference. Let's put one thing straight first. It's not time that we are trying to manage, but our energy and focus. Because time just is. It's a fixed resource and passes at the same speed for everyone. Besides, you might have all the time in the world to tackle your to-do list, but if you have no energy, you won't do anything. Drop multitasking. Let's talk about multitasking. There is a common misunderstanding about this concept. We need to differentiate between multitasking and what is called as background tasking. Multitasking is when you are trying to do several activities which require your cognitive effort. For example, reading a book and replying to a message. Background tasking is when we perform two activities where only one requires cognitive effort. For example, we could perfectly well do the dishes and listen to a podcast or be talking on the phone and cleaning the house. But you are here to learn about time management, so forget about multitasking, and here's why. Science shows that multitasking is a myth and is highly ineffective. In the book The Myth of Multitasking, Dave Crenshaw explains, when most people refer to multitasking, they are really talking about switch tasking. No matter how they do it, switching rapidly between two things is just not very efficient or effective. Other researchers offer similar definitions. Let this sink. You are not really multitasking, but switching between tasks. And if you think about this, it makes sense. It's not like you are writing an essay and solving mathematical equations at the same time. Switching tasks is highly unproductive and inefficient for many reasons, but let's start with so-called attention residue. In the article Why Is It So Hard to Do My Work?, Professor Sophie Leroy explains the phenomenon of attention residue. The gist of it is the following. When you switch from task A to task B, your attention doesn't follow immediately. A part of your attention remains stuck thinking about the original task. In other words, you are trying to work on task B, but your brain is still occupied with task A. That is why it's so important to finish one task, close the loop, and then move to the next one. Otherwise, one could say it's like taking one step forward and two steps back, because your attention is divided all the time. It has been estimated that this tendency of switching between tasks can increase the time necessary to complete the task by 500%. It sounds incredible, but I can totally relate. Sometimes, something that would take me just 1 hour of focus work can drag over an entire day or even days if I'm not mindful of distractions and task switching. And if this wouldn't be enough, according to Harvard Business Review, multitasking leads to 40% drop in productivity, increased stress, and 10% drop in IQ. So what's the solution for multitasking? It's single tasking. Choose one task and put everything else aside. You don't even touch anything that is not related to the current assignment. And you do it until it's done. Take breaks in between, of course. If you would like to know how to determine which task to work on first, be sure to check out my video, Prioritize Like a Pro, where I explain two different methods for prioritization and offer a free downloadable guide. And if you ever struggle with procrastination, check out this video right here, where I present 6 science-based steps for overcoming procrastination for good. Batching is another powerful strategy which helps you make the most out of your time. Batching is when you group similar tasks together and complete them all at once. Let's take, for example, checking email. Constantly checking your emails is extremely inefficient. It interrupts other tasks and disrupts your focus. Instead, devote a specific time for this. For example, Tim Ferriss, in his book The 4-Hour Workweek, recommends checking emails twice a day, and at some point moving to only once a day. I personally like to check emails at around 10 o'clock in the morning and at 4 in the afternoon. All the other time, my mailbox is simply closed and I'm focused on other things. But of course, whether or not you can do this depends on the type of work you do. If you are in the customer service, for example, this simply won't work. Batching teaches you to be deliberate in your actions, to purposefully ignore certain things while focusing on others. Think about this. Responding to emails requires a different state of mind than writing an essay. Similarly, you need a different type of energy and focus for developing a strategy plan than you need for attending a staff meeting. Our focus changes throughout the day. Observe yourself and find when you are at your best. When is your peak performance period, when you are naturally more focused? If you notice that you work best in the morning, then protect that time. One way of batching then would be to reserve mornings for some high-quality focus work, like writing or strategizing, and schedule all your meetings and appointments in the afternoon, if possible. I personally love accomplishing my most important task for the day before lunch. You can even batch distractions. Accomplish something first and then give yourself a guilt-free time to browse on social media, reply to messages, or give a call to your grandma, all at once. The key is that when you do all similar types of activities together, you capitalize on your mental capacity because your brain is already geared toward doing a certain kind of task. And the opposite is true. The more you divide your attention among different types of activities, the less productive and efficient you will be. This brings us nicely to point number 3. Plan your day and block time for your most important assignments. Most of really important work usually require large amount of focus time. That's why your ability to carve out these blocks of high-value time is crucial. For this to happen, you would need to plan your day in advance. Part of planning is evaluating how long each task will approximately take. Otherwise, as Parkinson's law suggests, work expands to fill the time available for its completion. Instead of saying, today I need to study for the exam, be more specific and identify, let's say, 2 chapters you would like to work on and how much time each chapter will take. So basically, you need to ask yourself what would be the amount of time necessary for you to accomplish a particular assignment at a comfortable pace, and then add some extra time in case of unforeseen issues. This will give you some flexibility and take away stress. The beautiful thing about planning is that if you plan well, almost nothing is urgent and you will be on top of your game. Once you identified what is on your plate for the day and you know how much time things will take you, then you simply schedule that amount of time. It's like making work appointments with yourself of, let's say, 30, 60 or 90 minutes. You literally block these times. It's you and the task. No distractions, no checking emails or messages. It's your focus time. To make this point crystal clear, let me give you some insights from the research. The University of California found it takes around 25 minutes to return to a task after we've been distracted. At the same time, studies show that employees get interrupted on average every 15 minutes at work, be it a call, colleague dropping by, or an email. Imagine this, it takes 25 minutes to get back to your task and you get interrupted every 15 minutes. Something doesn't add up, right? No wonder that many people work harder and harder, accomplishing less and less. And this applies also to studies. You're trying to prepare for your exam and endless interruptions prevent you from getting into the flow. That's why you need to protect your working or studying space, block interruptions, and reserve big chunks of time for important assignments. To quote here Stephen Covey, author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, "It's incredibly easy to get caught up in an activity trap. It is possible to be busy, very busy, without being very effective." The power of no. One of the most powerful words in time management is the word no, and this is how I mean it. Everything in life has an opportunity cost, which means that every activity you perform takes away time and effort from something else. You saying no to one thing means saying yes to the other and vice versa. With this in mind, you will need to get clear on your priorities in life and on what matters to you most. In order to avoid situations where you are stressed out, overcommitted, and running around, you need to have a bit of a bird's perspective. Remember, if everything is important, then nothing is. For example, at this stage in life, my priority areas are health and fitness, personal growth, career, and relationships with my loved ones. So, whenever I'm asked to do something, I would evaluate if the request fits into these priorities. One method of navigating is to be aware of how you feel about a potential event or task. As the book suggests, if it's not hell yes, then it's no thank you. You need to say no politely but firmly. Saying no to someone directly can be intimidating. That's why the following strategy could be helpful. Whenever you are asked to do something or participate in an event, simply say, "Let me check my calendar and get back to you." And finally, I would like to share with you one quick time management tip which I often use, and it's called only touch it once rule. It goes like this. If you open an email, you answer it immediately. If you get a request, give a straight answer without any maybes. I, for example, like to open messages only if I intend to respond to them right away, otherwise it just takes in my mind. In this way, you reduce the attention residue. You won't be like a computer which has hundreds of tabs open, because otherwise your brain works against you by remembering all possible things that are not related to the current task. As the saying goes, your mind is for having ideas, not for holding them. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you found this content helpful, please give me a like, it means a lot, and also be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet. Thank you for your time and see you soon.
Pimp tight, I ain't tryna do a lot, but I'm doing alright. Till my homies locked up, if I forgot to send a kite, then when you hit the bricks, I guess we gotta catch a flight. I'm a grown man, homie, I ain't out here tryna fight. Don't just be chillin', man, chillin' something like